Hello and welcome back. We are here continuing as the man, the myth, well, not the man, the demon, the myth, the legend, Ares, in the mod for Princes of Darkness for Crusader Kings 3, which introduces a whole batch of kind of gothic beasties. It's primarily focused in the vampires, but there's vampires, werewolves, fairies, witches, witch hunters, demons, obviously here, mummies, and a little bit more than that, but those are all the ones I can remember. We have been playing as Ares. We've been kind of expanding our power base here. Last episode, we primarily focused on two things. One, filling out our concubine slots with ones that we felt were reasonable, two of which are inquisitors who rose up against us, and we made them concubines afterwards, which is, I guess, humiliating in some sort of, yeah, I mean, well, they set out to destroy the demon, and then they joined the demon in bed. And so this is kind of the start. We also got this one who is genius, although she knows too much, so she might not last that long. She also has pneumonia, so she's in kind of bad shape. Can we help her out with the pneumonia? I don't think we can, unfortunately. We cannot use our powers to help her with the pneumonia. We're not that type of demon. Also, what we did last episode is we expanded out and focused on trying to attract people, in particular, who were strong knights. We got stuff like Istvan as our knight, who is a character with character lore. This is something that is super neat about the mod, as a lot of the characters do have an expanded kind of lore situation behind them, or at least a lot of the more mythical ones. We see that we have one here as well. These ones started out near us. This is going to be a demon, and so, for example, she's one of the few remaining succubi on Earth. We could race through that, but also Ivan will have his as well. And there are a bunch of characters with a bunch of, kind of theminess, but I think that if we're going to focus on anyone in terms of theminess, maybe we focus on not this one, no, not artifacts, but we focus on I believe we have our own special cadre. We'll find it in 1 second, the UI. Alright, here we have it, our conspiracy. I don't know if in vanilla it's called a conspiracy, but for us it is called a conspiracy. So we have next to the journeys, we have the conspiracy. We did invite Gremory, the carnal queen of pleasure, who we were going to read her entry, but I guess she doesn't have an entry for her. To be fair, the demons are probably the least fleshed out, or one of the less fleshed out kind of character traits you can have, but we did seduce her. We decided to invite her to our conspiracy. I think we can only have up to 5 members, so I think we'll want to be a little bit careful in the future. But she's probably the first character we've gotten with such a high combined total stats trait list that likes us, and so we will have a combined power here on our conspiracy of 16 Diplo, 21 Martial, mainly coming from us. Oh, I guess it's taking the highest stat of each. So her intrigue is the capped one. Our intrigue is our martial, our stewardship, and her diplo, and her intrigue, and I think our learning all represent the highest thing with our prowess. So I guess if we wanted to expand our conspiracy, we would have to look specifically for people with high stewardship and diplo in order to kind of have a maximally strong performance. And maybe we'll do that this episode, but I think another thing we'll look to do this episode is finish kind of uniting Greece, if we can, and from there we will have a nice power base to focus on some more of the themey stuff, and maybe expanding overseas in some various places. But I think if we're going to expand anywhere with Ares, certainly it makes sense to do it in Greece. So we get an Arcana lifestyle perk, and we can now unlock Theft of Fate, which you can't read it, but I can, and it allows us to use the Devour Soul execution option on everyone. We will unlock and see just exactly what this is going to be giving us. So we'll go to our court, we will go to our prisoners, we'll find some prisoner who's probably not relevant, like this person here, who's very much not likely to be relevant, and we will execute. Well, actually, first we'll engage in revelation. We will be like, look, we are a demon of dark demonness, and now you know too much, and because you know too much, we have to execute you. We can devour soul. And what does this give us exactly? We get some because we're okay. we wouldn't get anything here. Maybe we aren't getting anything because we're already at full resolved. I think that this should be giving us resolve, but it's not giving us. We were hoping it was going to give us experience. It looks like it's just going to give us resolve. I wonder if we were to execute a different prisoner, like let's say this is a vampire who's much higher up, and we were to devour their soul, would it give us anything else? No, it doesn't look like it. And so I guess if we find a demon, maybe they're going to be the more interesting one to do that with, but that is a bit unfortunate. We were hoping for some ways to generate more experience, and that's not going to be it with the Theft of Fate Arcana. So we will be on the lookout for other more useful things, but we've already taken this branch, so we'll probably continue down into Read the Mind later, and then Conquering Will, decreasing men-at-arms maintenance, and then Behold the Megatron, which will give Diplomacy Martial monthly piety per legitimacy level. We have very high legitimacy, monthly prestige per legitimacy level, and also help out with legitimacy. So I think we're going to try and get the ends of this branch. And here you can't read it. It does give a number of knights +3 and max men-at-arms regiments +3. And as a character interaction, you can discover the true name of another demon. So I think we're going to look for these branches before kind of resetting and trying to examine other sorts of places. Trade enhancement's an interesting one, but it takes 4 perk points to pick up. But we are gaining a whole lot of experience in this realm from having people who believe in us, from having all these subjects who are aware that we are a demon, and their awareness kind of increases our power over time because they know what's up. They've been converted to our religion, as you can see, the religion of wrath, which is, of course, our sin of choice as Ares, the god of war. After a long time spent corrupting, we convert our dear Theodoric to Goth from his previous vampiric religion, a fresh soul to enjoy, which means I think we'll have a really easy time kind of bringing him here. We're going to enthrall him. I don't know if he automatically comes on over. He does become our cultist. I think that okay, it looks like he's not in our court. And so, but this is fine enough because he believes. He knows the truth of the thing. Let's see. All right. But we are about done with this war. Definitely having some significant problems with casualties, though, or conscriptions. And so we'll look to kind of resolve all this. And we get another available perk in here, and we will continue on Read the Mind. But we did have to call our ally just because we couldn't siege stuff down because we didn't have enough troops, which is one of the downsides. Even though knights are really important, you still need levies and other stuff in order to siege down the troops, and whenever you fight with the levies, boy do the levies get wrecked by all the men-at-arms and really strong knights, and so it leaves you kind of in an awkward spot. Alright, so we get ourselves an event here. I've moved the camera. Hopefully this is a slightly better spot. But we have held court for the first time, and I haven't seen some of these events because they're from some of the newer DLC, but we get hold court legend cooperation. A foreign guest approaches and says, "It's been a while since I've arrived at your court. I have carefully observed how you rule and address realm matters, and I have both small and grandiose, and have been nothing but impressed," of course, because that's all you're allowed to be. "Among the ancient Egyptians, there's a tale of a legendary ruler from a distinguished dynasty. It is a story that my mother told me when she was young. She heard it from her first mother so long ago. And now I have the great pleasure of telling you that I think you are the legendary overlord of Kemeto legends, and I believe that any true son of ancient Egyptian would surely agree with me. Yes, your elder spoke to me about this, which will give us a endeavor for Namura Legend Seed. And then we can also do Lacemadon Legend Seed. New Lacemadon is the subject of Kemeto's Tales, and then we can also just gain ourselves some renown. I think we're going to go with New Lacedaemon as our legendary seed, because it's going to increase the acceptance between these two. I guess they both increase it. Alright. Alright, we're going to spoke about the Namuro. We have the end is nigh. Of course, demons are inhabiting the earth. Naturally, the end is nigh. The signs are pretty clear. I'm glad the signs are clear, my guy. We could gain the trait Flagellant if we want. Not really into that. Someone is killed by us. Kind of into that. and we gain some dread. We love the dread, so we'll burn that heretic. And then heretics at large, my lord, I regret to inform you that the religious situation in my lands is out of control. Try to make the subject see the light, etc., etc. See what you can do. We will gain some grandeur and prestige, and he will lose opinion. Yeah. Peaceful coexistence is always the best solution, we say after we execute here someone. And of course, our business here is done, and we become more legitimate here. And so, I'm not sure where exactly the best spot is for the camera. I think we're going to move it back, though. Okay, so we haven't interacted with the legend stuff before, and so we'll be kind of learning our way through it, but we do need a court chronicler in order to materialize this legend, which is going to give us advantages, or increase these advantages as the legend slowly gets promoted out, and so we are going to want to search for a chronicler. I don't think we want to appoint someone we have. We see that learning skill is useful, diplomacy skill is useful, the gregarious trait is useful. I assume writing is maybe useful, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's just diplomacy and learning. We're seeing that kind of here. I'm not sure if there's a way to check it so that it'll let us know what are all the traits that are going to be useful for it, other than we know gregariousness is going to be particularly good, but we will get searching for someone to kind of bring to our realm for the purposes of being the ideal court chronicler. So it turns out our summon interaction that we can use to pull people to our court, which we cannot do because this person is our chancellor, but the summon interaction that we have is unfortunately tied to a diplomacy duel with another person, which is not good when we are specifically trying to summon a high diplomacy person. And so if we are trying to, come in here to one of these guys' courtiers and snake him out, we can try and do this summon effect, and we will get people with low diplomacy, but diplomacy is what we need. And so we would have to combat someone, and so it is difficult for us to summon in that way. However, it looks like we have been invited to a hunt, and we're more than happy to join, and so we will be joining up. We may gain legitimacy, prestige, we may gain the hunter trait, which would be nice, and of course we may gain some other stuff. And so I think that we also have a little bit of a journey potential here. Maybe we want to trump around some of the territory. It looks like we visited a lot of these places. You could see that when we went north, we had visited a lot of these places, so we kind of locked it in, and maybe we can sneak in one or two of these after going to the hunt. I think we go to the hunt straight away, and then after the hunt, we customize our return so that we will adventure around a little bit and visit some places. I'm not sure exactly where we should go, though. Maybe up through this portion of Italy here, snake our way down, and then return. I think that sounds like a good idea. Alright, so we have it all trekked out. We'll first go to the hunt because we have to arrive there quickly, and then on our way back we will do the tour of all of Italy here, making sure to hit every single spot, and then we will be back. Hopefully no one decks us in that time period, because we really don't want to be away from our army if fighting is going to be occurring, but we will head on out to the hunt, and we can't wait, and we will arrive at the hunt. Soon. The hunt will begin. We assemble, and the sun rises over the camp in the valleys near Aetolia. My many gamekeepers have been flushers, have been pouring over the area for tracks and fumes. The pack is a nuisance, scavenging from farm to farm, retreating deep into the forests. Ultimately, she decided she wanted to hunt a wolf today. Let's get out there. The peril will be middling, and the prestige will be middling, but we're immortal, so that's really not too big a problem. The noise of others had faded as my vassal and I stock up on the wolf, almost within striking distance, when Mahalia whispers, "Now that we are finally alone, there's something I have to tell you about Marcinas Gofora, who is our who's our dear friend, who's actually, she's depressed. Ugh, she's melancholic. We don't like that. Oh no, wait. No, she's not the dear friend. She's the other one. But she's the other succubus. Alright, talk later, vassal. A success chance increases, or we learn a secret. We don't need to learn our secret. That's fine. That's fine. We don't need any of that. Instead, we will continue on our way. Let us go. The method is more perilous. We don't care. She chooses spear. We use our fists. We're Aries. We peaked in high school. This is how we get things done. The hunt fails. 30% chance. That's not ideal. We can hardly keep up with that blasted beast. Alright. The success chance is pretty low. We will say, let us leave the adventure behind for now. The wolf has in fact eluded us. Big sad. We're a demon. We are a god, and we can't hunt and kill one single wolf. But we will get the Trent Hunter. Also, some of our allies will gain the trait Hunter. Everyone gains prestige, and so we'll leave it alone for now and click Finish Hunt. With that, we will also now be heading on our journey throughout Italy. There will be some flavor events here as well. That is kind of unique to the thing. And also just wanted to emphasize, we are getting Arcana experience according to how many people believe in us. 20 per cultist. And so this, we've gained 700 in total. And so the speed at which we are acquiring these perks is starting to accelerate at a pretty good clip here, as we have finished out this tree over to the right. We could go Sin Eating. Allows you to target mortal to suffer a break, and this allows you to devour target mortal soul. That's probably delicious, but we will, why don't we go with max number of bound wraiths? We don't have any sort of that stuff already. I suppose we already have speed of thought. We could shift to incorporeal form. I don't think we really want the incorporeal form. We could unlock wings for arsenal or shapeshift. Movement speed, travel speed. I mean, maybe that's useful. Inhuman strength we already have. Increased health is not too big a deal. Pursuit efficiency. There's really a lot of things we could get. We already have apocalyptic form. Longevity gives us a long range bonus and extra life expectancy as a thrall. But, I think maybe we go Spirit Sight, or we could go Men at Arms counter efficiency and then Dread gain. There's really so much stuff to get. We could also save up for the thing that boosts us. You no longer need to abandon your current vessel to possess another one. That's interesting. Raise the Dead allows you to use the skeleton something. What's at the very here? This allows you to abandon our current vessel. That doesn't seem that good. Overall, this doesn't seem like we can really do too much with this. I guess we'll unlock the Spirit Sight one. I think that the trees might be different for each class. We're the Namura. We get Glory and Mind and Soul, and maybe the other ones are a little bit, have got other stuff going on. But overall, the bonuses don't seem too tremendous, but we're also cruising through this kind of for free. And for lore, we are going for Insinuate to get more max personal schemes. And after that, I think we're going to switch to going kind of the normal trees in terms of our active research, or going sorcery. Not sure entirely. We do get some local flavor in one of our visits here. The Sombra's Lair, the occasional mysterious phenomena associated with this place, and an old ancient tale about the shadows here remained intact even when lava flows from nearby Mount Etna cast their lurid red glow on everything else. Neither local residents nor visiting authorities realize how thoroughly their minds are twisted on a regular basis to hide all that is genuinely interesting about this castle at the center of the estate. To vampiric sight, it is another matter altogether. The castle itself is a simple design, modified countless times over the centuries, and not really depending on physical strength at all for its defenses. Can't see it. A long outer wall, precisely square, encloses two interior towers, also square. The eastern tower rises higher with a spreading upper deck to allow watchers the best view of any trouble coming from the volcano as well as other directions. It is impossible to tell from a distance what the walls are made of precisely because animated shadows crawl over their surface in just a barely visible ebb and flow. La Sombra is, of course, the master of shadows. Tides of shadows rise out of the depths after sunset with each night and wrap around the castle in a generally spiral pattern, reversing after midnight to gradually drain away. It is said that the gates are opened when La Sombra himself is away from the castle, a worrying sight for the world at large. It's spooky. We will gain ourselves some lifestyle experience. we get invited to another hunt. This time, post-hunt, we're going to go to Egypt, but we will say soon we will get ourselves a hunt, and we can get out there. The peril will be mild, the prestige will be mediocre, and our peak will have been in high school. And so we will be continuing on. People do get hunting actions going. Someone will attempt to ambush the row with a bow, as one does. We're gaining progress, we are gaining prestige, and most importantly, we are gaining hunting experience, which is going to be pretty nice for boosting up our prowess. Clever thing. The hunt only has a 38% success chance, which is really not ideal. Really loving that our subjects are having a bunch of hunts, though, and the row has eluded us this time. This is tragic. We will gain the trait Hunter. I thought we already had the trait Hunter, and we will gain some experience in it. We will gain a little bit of legitimacy, which is going to be nice, and we will say, oh, actually, wait, yeah, finish the hunt. So we will have, instead of Novice Hunter, I think we will have, oh no, wait, we just continue with Hunter? Yeah, okay, I guess. We have Venerator and Falconer that we need to get done, but now we will begin our little trek over to Egypt, where we are just going to make a little bit of a loop and then come back here, and then we will continue on with our wars. I think we don't want to start a war without it, although I'm sure we could take her, right? And just conquer the duchy here. I think we would prefer the Holy War for duchy, or for county, rather. I think we prefer the Holy War, but we could go for this even though we're out and about, because we're more than strong enough to be able to take her out. Well, I do believe on our way back here, we're about to hunt the most dangerous game. Passing through this guy's territory, you know, he's a vampire doing vampire things. After an exchange of polite greetings, he looks at me with a mischievous grin. Would you like to join me for the most noble of sports, my acquaintance? He nods at the prisoner in chains at the forest's edge. I all too soon realize what sport he's referring to. Manhunting. I am disgusting. Or I am disgusted, or am I intrigued? It sounds pleasant enough. We are, of course, Manhunter. We want the dread. We want the tyranny. We don't care about the piety. We don't care that, well, we like that we're sadistic. It's going to reduce our stress. And we are going to get ourselves a nice skull-cupped artifact. Also trait experience in the demon trait, which is going to be nice enough as well. So we will get ourselves a nice little hat, a nice little skull cap. We're going to wear the hat, or it's a cup. Well, we're still going to use the cup, which is going to be, of course, nice. Everyone knows you drink from a skull when you're Ares, god of war. Alright, so apparently you scroll here in this Arcana tree, and there's a little bit more available. I think what we're going to take is the Scry trait, which will allow us to get domain taxes plus 5%, and we can buy claim and buy artifact claim interactions. In particular, we haven't really taken a look at 4 or any sort of artifact, and this might be something we focus on next episode, but here today, or at least right now, we are about to finish kind of the unification of Greece proper with I think this is kind of the last little bit we need. We're not going to count Lesbos, and instead just kind of the stuff that's contiguously attached to Greece, and so this will be the last war that we need in order to finish this out, and we are about to enforce on it, so we will have a nice unified Greece. We are also probably going to give ourselves a kingdom title of some sort. We're just clapping them there, and we will enforce our demands. We will gain a bunch of prestige, get a bunch of devotion. It's all going to be good, and we will have ourselves a nice, strong power base here. Other parties have been expanding. We're noticing, you know, kind of nice kingdom level people expanding. Things are getting shooken up over time. In particular, of note is probably Duke Camarilla, or Camilla. I'm not sure how his name's pronounced, who is kind of the big baddie on the street in terms of the vampires. Perhaps the most influential Ventru, which is a family of vampires in history, and so we maybe keep an eye on him, especially because he destroyed Carthage, and of course we can't let that abide, but this is going to be kind of gotten mission accomplished for getting ourselves a really nice power base. The income's starting to come in pretty well here as well. I think we're probably going to move the capital to Patras, because Patras has got an additional slot. It looks like they have 5 slots here. Oh wait, is this just 4? Okay, well maybe we're chilling with here. This does look like it just has 3 holding slots. Or is there? Nope, there's 3. holding slots, and here we also have a similar 3. Okay, so I guess maybe we're okay keeping this as our primary base, at least for now, but in the long term we will probably want to put places like Tunis as our primary, as I think that they will have a unique building. I'm not entirely sure if the unique building will apply to Tunis. It looks like this is there's a unique building there. Not sure exactly what's going to happen, but Rome, for example, does have unique stuff, and so we maybe eventually want to have that as one of our primary holdings, where they get both their ducal building here and also Roma David Dua, which will give diplomacy, profane, renown, conscripts, this sort of thing. But nice unified Greece. I think that next episode what we're going to do is we're going to be trying to acquire a whole variety of items that are, you know, fitting our station. But we will start with Duke Camarilla, as we discussed earlier. Camarilla, treacherous heathen, he destroyed Carthage, and so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take his laurel crown. This is a sign of his victory. His victory will be undone, and so we are going to go in and we are going to heist that if we can. Hopefully this will be a nice little quest that we can get done, you know, in kind of the nearest future. Our planning speed is based on our stewardship. Our stewardship is reasonably good, and the count here, he escapes. The Dark One escapes, as they usually do. I think to celebrate the unification of Greece here, we are going to go on a pilgrimage, which of course I think we want to do as well for the purposes of gaining trait. We can do a pious pilgrimage, taking pious actions, increase piety on completion. Piety, of course, is very nice, and this will give us sightseeing interactions and earned tiered multicultural modifier on completion. I'm not really sure which one's better. Let's go worldly though, and we will be able to select a spot that we can travel to. And I think we're going to travel out here because there's a lot of relevant spots that are going to be, I think that this is kind of like the seat of the important place, at least for the demons in the game. And so we're going to be able to, on our way there and on our way back, visit a lot of these spots that we have not yet visited in the region here. We will probably do a grand, huge loop, I think. It's really tempting to do a really huge loop up and traveling up here. You know, we have places that, that's just giving us, this is just giving us kind of martial, but we will at the very least hit this Mosul and all the way down south here, I think, on our way. And we will be able to find some activities here. What else can we do? Travel speed's unaffected. You are patient, pilgrim trait, travel speed reduced by 50%. Oh, we can't change this. Pomp. You may bring attendance through hangouts. You can do more piety on completion. I think that maybe we do ceremonial here. And our intent is not reflection, but zealotry, I think. You have adopted the mindful approach and are looking for opportunities to relieve stress. You're particularly firm in your beliefs, I think, is going to be what we're going to. Yeah. So we'll do a zealotry as well, because we truly want to convert everyone to wrath. We will change some of these, and we will make a different looking route. Alright, here is going to be our journey. We're just going to trek through here. It wanted us to go overland when we wanted to pick up this little spot here for some martial experience and a sightseeing event, and so we decided to do that on the way back and customize it so that we'd mainly be traveling through the sea. We're going to be using experienced captains and desert warriors, so the fact that we're sailing a lot isn't going to be too big a deal. We're coming through the sands down here, and we'll be hitting up, in addition to the pilgrimage spot, we'll also be picking up this, which was our other pilgrimage option, which will generate us a pretty big chunk of piety, which is going to be quite nice. We'll apply this, and we will, for our thing, we're going to be doing ceremonial, pilgrim, and then we will be doing zealotry. So everything's kind of all set up, and we will get started on our pilgrimage on the way to Mesopotamia. Looks like we get a pretty strong event here in Baghdad where we can get a book artifact for some money. We can get the Clerical Justifications perk, and since we're immortal, these types of things are really good. Increased learning by 1, and we're not going to say we won't waste any time. I think we're going to go Great Opportunity here, which is going to be fantastic for us, obviously, because it's a great opportunity. And then you promised me there will be monsters. We'll lose some stress there. And I think the next stop is the arrival of our pilgrimage. So we have walked the holy path and we gain the trait pilgrim, which of course is going to be a nice little one. It will keep it for the rest of our lives, which is, since we're immortal, the rest of forever. It is going to give us some piety, some travel speed, some travel safety, and zealotry appeal here. We will have the option to make our thing more worldly. If we pay him 5, he will become the owner of the Pilgrim's Guide. That seems okay. And let's see, what is this? Let me take a look. And you'll take this in turn. Nothing happens. We increase our diplomacy by 1. That's pretty good. I think we'd rather increase our diplomacy than perhaps getting a book. And so, even though it's a 20% chance, we'll take a shot at that, a crack at that. We do have worldliness achieved, currently at level 1. A sheltered pilgrim are we. Our intent is zealotry, so we'll see exactly how we can do things here. We get another event. A pilgrim puts down a votive doll before the altar. I see so-and-so blessing her and muttering something at the ear. Holy, I managed to hear. Did you bring something to have blessed, dear overlord? We will give some options here. We can have our Capuan war banner blessed. We can make the thing more worldly. I think we'll go for worldliness. This would give us gains 5% monthly prestige is also pretty nice. Let's just pay for this and continue on our way here. We are also accumulating a decent chunk of gold, much better than we were before. I wonder how long these pilgrimages led. We will lose the trait irritable. That's super nice. Or make this world more worldly. Let's make it more worldly. We are, of course, Aries. We definitely are going to be irritable. As our time at the sacred site draws to an end, I may have missed an opportunity, missed out on the odd worldly opportunity, but I'm overall happy with the experience. This is my first pilgrimage, and while no pilgrimage is exactly alike, I feel confident that I'm more familiar with what to expect from this type of spiritual journey in the future. We get Intrigued Pilgrimage for 5 years, which will give us, hey, that's pretty nice. Gain a little bit of legitimacy. We gain some piety as well, and we will head back home. So that is a nice pilgrimage, and I think with that we will round out the episode here. This episode we went kind of secured our seat here in Greece, having a nice power block with which to kind of influence things. I think that next episode we will try and acquire some items and round out kind of that sort of thing, as well as try and get more courtier positions. We did in fact invite this guy, the exiled teacher, to help take care of our artifacts towards the end of the episode. He does have scholar. I think he's going to be pretty good for this. We might assign him other court positions, but we're going to keep an eye out, or try to at least, for people that are going to make really good courtiers, because we do want to start appointing some of these positions as we are getting up there in the money, so that's going to be nice for us. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please feel free to like, comment, subscribe, do the YouTube algorithm thing, and other than that, have a good one.